Entrepreneur Unplugged. I'm your host, Rolando Castro. On today's episode, we have Edwin Acevedo. He is an entrepreneur, co-owner of Lotus Group Real Estate, USC prodigy, and recently married his best friend. Entrepreneur Nation, let's welcome Edwin Acevedo. Edwin, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being here. So, Edwin, if I could define your bio with one word, I would say it's perseverance. I'm going to read your bio, which is your timeline. I think it's incredible. You start your first business in 1997 as a high school project, right?
Yes.
You graduate 1998 with a 4.19 GPA.
Yes.
Almost a 4.2,
I
right?
almost had it. Just almost had it.
But what's the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.1?
It's that B I got in ninth grade.
Mm-hmm.
I that's where the turnaround time was.
So that
I got a story about that too.
We'll get to it.
We'll get
so
to
that B chased you from ninth grade
To a four, yeah.
yeah. Okay, we'll go back to that. Okay, so you got your high school in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
You go work for Boeing, fresh out of high school.
Right.
Right. By age 21, you graduate from Devry with a Bachelors in
Information systems.
Information systems. Okay, that's computer science.
Yeah.
By age 23, you buy your first property.
Yes.
Age 24, you were denied by USC.
Yes.
Right. Age 25, you're accepted by USC.
Yes.
Age 29, you graduate with an MBA.
Yes.
Correct. Age 28, you quit Boeing, making $80,000 a year.
Yes.
Which is now equivalent to $110,000. See,
Wow.
that took me, okay? How could somebody, maybe under 30 years old, making $80,000 quit a job like that? Take us into what made you say, you know what? I don't care how much they pay me. They could pay me $200,000. At the end of the day, you weren't happy, right?
Right.
So what was that breaking point, that tipping point where you say, you know what? This is not for me.
Well, this is all I remember is every morning waking up and having to drive down that 91 freeway, aka parking lot, every morning, listening to the same radio station every morning. It's like that movie Groundhog Day. I don't know if you've seen that movie with Bill Murray. It's the same thing every day. And then being in that cubicle 9 to 5, there's no windows. So you don't get to see when it becomes light or dark. So by the time you get out, it's already dark. So you just feel like your day is just passing by. Your life is just going. Where's it going? Yes, I'm making that much money.
I mean, $80,000.
Right.
I mean, how old were you at the time?
I was 28.
28, making $80,000. You were living pretty good. That just goes to show you that no amount of money will keep you from your actual dream and your passion.
I wasn't happy. I mean, there's one book which I recommend. It's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes, Robert.
That's the book that really, really opened my eyes, and that's what really made the move on. Made me make that quitting.
That's the first book I ever read about business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's basically the turning point for me, was the constant, driving up down that freeway every day, and I like knowing that someone controls my destiny versus me controlling my own destiny. Someone's gonna tell me every year that I'm gonna get a raise for $1, $20, or $2.
No matter how.
No matter what. No matter if I'm the star of the department, what have you. I'm just gonna get that. That's it. And I'm gonna live that paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And yes, 85 was great, but see, those are not my goals.
Well, some people it would be.
Yes.
I mean, just imagine how many people are stuck in a job that they know they're making good money. They afford a great lifestyle, but at the end of the day, when the lights go off at night, they're very unhappy with their job. And if somebody's unhappy with their job, it reflects on anything they do. Has entrepreneurship always been in your blood, or when did you realize, you know what, I quit Boeing, I'm not doing Boeing, but what? I mean, what?
Well, the entrepreneur thing was always, since I was 17, 18.
It was your first business.
Right, the high school story where my high school counselor, Dr. Avery, I still remember his name, it was just like yesterday.
Dr. Avery, yeah.
Okay.
We're alumni.
You're right.
Nation. Same high school, Lynwood High School.
Right. And he came out with an announcement and said that all seniors are going to have to make a research project or write a research paper on any subject in order to graduate. So that's a requirement.
Wow.
In order, that's a requirement.
You took it to heart.
So I didn't take it to heart because that's easy to me at the moment, because I was in the courses that I was taking, it was an advanced level. So to me, research papers were almost every week.
Wow.
So, but I had the insight to see that not every senior was used to writing research papers. and no knock to the football players, no knock to the jocks, but they were just passing by to graduate. So to them, research papers was not going to be as easy as to what I would thought was going to do. You remember back in '97, Yahoo.com was just coming out. Okay, before that, we had to use our typewriter to write 15 pages. Right before the internet came, typewriters and all that, and go back and do the whiteout and just struggle and all that. Okay, so when I saw that, I saw an opportunity where I can easily, copy and paste other essays from the internet. Okay, so on any subject, history of railroads, Civil War. I saw that. So I was charging $25 a report. So I started cutting out business cards. I started passing them out.
So you made business cards in high school?
Yes.
Business cards. When did you
I don't know. I just know that they needed a contact. That's what happened in high school. So the vision, you got to have vision.
Of course. You
got to have a vision. It's like a surfer. You got to know when the wave's coming.
I love that analogy.
Okay? In order to get on top of the front of that wave, you got to have that vision. But see, if you know your history, you will know your future.
You know your history.
If you really pay attention in life, there's patterns in life. There's things that happen. Let me do an example. Back in the '60s, men who had beards. Right. What's happening now? What's happening now? You notice the beard. Baseball players, everybody has beards now, and everyone's growing beards. '90s and early 2000s, no one had beards. Right. So it's happening again. It's a pattern. Right. Another story. History. This is the scooter. Remember the scooter?
I remember the scooter.
They had board with the pole. Somebody decided to take the pole off and made it a skateboard.
Now they took out the board.
The swagway. Remember that? Remember the Segway?
Yeah.
Somebody decided to take that pole. Now we have that hoverboard.
And that's off of history, right?
Remember that.
Right.
You pay attention to those little things.
So let's fast forward a little bit after you quit Boeing, right?
Right.
You had a very, I would say, extremely episode after you quit Boeing, right? Yeah, I mean, you were literally went from making $80,000 to making zero.
When I quit, I had a plan to get me afloat while I transitioned to real estate.
What was your plan after? You know what? I quit Boeing. Did you have a plan? Or just
the plan was since I was 18. Going back to Dr. Avery, he saw me. By the way, he found out it was me who was doing that.
You in trouble?
No, he pat me on the back. He says, "Good job, son."
Of course.
He goes, "I like that idea. I would have never thought about that." He goes, "Look, I could tell what type of kid you are. You're not gonna be one of that 9 to 5 deal. If you really want to make it, you really want to be wealthy." He says, "Not rich, wealthy. You're gonna have to either get into real estate or get into some sort of sustaining business, self-operated business."
You consumed that advice.
And it stuck to me. Yes, I ended up at Boeing.
So would you recall that being maybe the best advice you've ever received?
Yes. I still remember like it was just yesterday.
That goes to show Entrepreneur Nation. If you could give advice to someone, no matter what kind of advice it is, make sure you give them advice, because that advice could be the turning point in somebody's life, right?
Yes. You never know.
Okay, and then so talk to us about that episode where you say you didn't have a plan. You quit Boeing, and then what happened next?
So for a good year, when I quit Boeing, the market crashed.
That was in 08.
Oh wait. So if you were to quit, that's not the right time to be quitting.
No, I think you want to hold on to the job. Yeah.
So, and I don't know whether it was I did it without knowing, or I knew. I don't know if I just didn't care. I just did it.
If you were to look back at the time when you quit, how would you define you quitting?
So for a good year, when I quit Boeing, the market crashed.
That was in 08.
Oh wait. So if you were to quit, that's not the right time to be quitting.
No, I think you want to hold on to the job. Yeah.
So, and I don't know whether it was I did it without knowing, or I knew. I don't know if I just didn't care. But it goes to show that most successful people out there have goals, and they have their 5-year goal, they have their 10-year goals. They're goal oriented. You have to hit each goal every year. You have to better yourself every year. For 2014 Edwin, I'm outdoing him. 2015 Edwin, I want to outdo him. I want to outdo 2016.
How does that feel?
Great.
Yeah, we had here on our previous show, my mentor Gary Chomiak, and he talked about the importance of having 5 to 10-year goals.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest with you. I know where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years, but I know that I have to put it in paper. But in my mind, I know where I want to be. But there's a big difference versus just being in your mind and actually writing it down, right?
Right. I wrote it down, but it's always in my mind, all constantly. I'm always thinking about what to do. Where's my next goal to reach?
Right.
So
the plan being at home with
I
literally, I'm gonna say broke, right?
Right.
Literally with no way out.
No, I didn't. you know, that money that I had saved went out. It took me a year and a half, and it was done. So now comes a phase where, crap, I'm broke. Like my truck got repoed at 1:30 in the morning on January 9th, 2000.
It's amazing how you don't forget the dates.
No, I don't. Those are significant events in my life.
I will say that and you use those dates as motivation, inspiration to
It does.
make sure it doesn't happen again. Right?
It does. It does. It was a big guy, so I couldn't even keep my truck. It was like, you take it. Take it. You know, it is what it is. Right. But see, what teaches you in life as well, and I'm trying to go into the personal, that's when it started, and that's the beginning of this another phase that I was going to get into.
Where your life went from being bright, at least income-wise, and being able to support yourself, to that darkness.
Right. That's the beginning of what was about to happen in the next 2-3 years. Alcoholism, because at the end of the day, I was a social drinker, still am, but now when you get depressed, you no longer start using that. You start using it more.
Of course.
You don't use it now to drink, to go hang out and have fun. You use it to forget about the problems come Monday morning.
And drinking, they're not going to get any better.
It's not. It's just it's a vicious cycle.
Of course.
You start affecting your family. You start hurting yourself, and everybody's close to you.
So what happened in regards, because you mentioned your family, how was it that your family, your biggest supporter, seeing you making great money, had a career, and this kid went to USC, went to Devry, this kid, on paper, you were like legit. You were like, well, this guy's going to have a great career. And all of a sudden, they may find you in your room just staring at the wall. Were they supportive, or were they pointing their finger saying, I told you so?
My mom, being how she is, she's more of a tough love person. She was telling me, go get a job, go get a real job, go do this.
You already had a real job. Yeah.
But to her, real estate wasn't a real job. 2009, 2010 was the first time ever that I had to face this adversity with life that's not as great as everybody else's. Yes, there's a lot of people out there in that era, in that time, that went broke as well because the market crashed. Not just me, a lot of people.
Yeah, but in your case, at least for me, is you had you went to a great school.
Right.
You have 2 degrees. You have the knowledge on how to run and how to operate a business, which most people don't have that type of education. But yet you still find yourself, you're back against the wall.
Right.
Take us into a day of complete darkness into you, after you quit Boeing. To a day.
Wow, that's crazy. It's basically a point where nobody was calling me because they knew I had no money. I could not go visit my daughter. No, but see, because I'm very optimistic, I always say I'm gonna make it. So I never say I hope. No, I am. So yes, people on the outside can say, "Wow, he quit and he had a 1-year-old. That's irresponsible." No, it's more about I am gonna do it. You have to have a mind state of certainty, and so that's the reason why. But going back to that question of yours, it's going to that phase where nobody was calling you. You couldn't even go visit your daughter because you had no gas. You couldn't drive because the needle was an E. You didn't know when it was going to leave you.
Yeah. I'm hoping you get to that next block.
Right. So if I was hungry, I had to go back to my bowl of change, which I took a picture of, and there was a bunch of pennies, and in there were all the quarters. I was looking for the quarters because they will add up to a combo meal or something, and after I got the quarters out, I took a picture, by the way, of that, and I said, I'm going to remember this situation.
So you kind of, and I'll stay there for a second. I'll let you go back to your story. But it seems to me that, as I hear your story and you recall these memories very vivid. So you kind of knew already, you know what? I must have a picture because I'm going to talk about this one day.
Yes.
Hopefully on the Entrepreneur Unplugged, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, go back.
Definitely.
Yeah, amazing.
So it's that. And the thing is, there's other things that happen. I had a situation where my arm got cut. Okay. That was through a fight.
Wow.
Through a fight. And the reason for that is because I guess they got tired of me always being drunk, always doing that. Eventually, they're going to get tired of me. So there's a situation where that happened. I ended up in the emergency room and lost a lot of blood. They stitched me up, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that because I'm always wearing long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, I didn't know
so for the first time on Unplugged TV, I am actually announcing that there's a huge cut here.
Okay.
That it's on there.
Well, that's a sign of who you were.
Right. It reminds me constantly. It constantly reminds me. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It just really made me refocus to my daughter. All I remember thinking about is my daughter, my 1 year old, and just wanting to just focus on that, and knowing that I have to make it in real estate.
Yeah.
I have to make it in real estate somehow, and just continue to go out there and prospect. Continue to go in front of Sam's Club at 9 in the morning, passing out flyers. No one, because the way I saw it, if I went back to work 9 to 5, I quit. I gave up.
Yeah.
I gave up. That's a sign that I threw in the white towel.
Yeah. A lot of
And then everybody would say, "I told you so,"
Yeah.
and I didn't want to hear that.
Wow.
I said, "No, it ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna succeed somehow, some way." And that's basically what I did. The way I did at Boeing, the way I did at the USC, the way I did everything, I'm gonna do it in real estate and everything else.
Yeah,
So,
because you applied at USC and you were denied because of your what was it? Because of
my GMAT scores were at 600 or 580. The minimum 620, 640.
and you said, you know what?
I got pissed
Better
off.
work.
I got pissed the fuck out. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry about that, but
Unplugged.
yeah, it is unplugged. I'm sorry.
Unplugged.
So I got pissed off. So what I did for a whole year in the cafeteria when I was at Boeing, after my lunch, I had this huge GMAT book, practice book, and I would just study my questions, getting better and getting better.
Entrepreneur Nation, you guys are literally listening to somebody who refuses to give up. So if you have a dream, do not give up on that dream. This guy here, like I said, his bio is perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Edwin? So, and you're class of 98, I'm class of 99. We didn't really communicate in school, but I will see you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know how I seen you again, which I go to a story right now. I had an issue with my computer,
Yes.
right? That's when I had just started my company, and I put on Facebook, anybody can help me with computers. I'm done with this computer. Somebody help me. And you put, what's wrong with it? I said, oh, this and that. I can fix it. Here's my address. I don't know who you were.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there in my office. You walk in, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I went to high school with that guy. And that's how we were connected with one another, right?
Right.
At the time, you were fixing computers. You were in real estate, and you were fixing computers to make ends meet.
Yes.
And then you were doing taxes as well.
I was doing taxes, yeah.
No shame.
Right. I know. No, I mean, yeah, I was real estate. You can call me real estate. I could act the part, wear suits, but I was not producing whatsoever.
How did you feel being around, a prominent company like the one you were with, and seeing other realtors living the part? Like you just mentioned, right now you go with a suit and you're nationally living it. But how did that make you feel? Did that?
It motivated me.
Exactly.
It motivated me because when you enter that company, everybody's wearing a suit. The first day of that company, everybody's wearing a suit. So you don't know who's who. You don't know who's producing. Everybody looks the same to me. Over time, you get to see who are the producers.
Right.
So then you start analyzing that. So every week they used to come out with this 2 or 3 page list of all the agents and the production. I threw away the second and third page.
It was out there.
And yeah, it was out there every week. The gross commissions, how much everybody produced.
Wow.
Whether they use it for motivation, right? And kind of just show what they got. So to me, I threw the second, third page away. It didn't matter to me. I didn't care about the zeros. I cared about the people that were making $500,000 a year, $600,000 a year, and I want to know what they were doing to be that successful. So I started going and shadowing them. I started asking them questions. I started pretty much all I was a sponge, absorbing every single thing from different people. Right. They would give me different pieces of advice. And at that point, I knew exactly what to do. Mm-hmm.
So, Edwin, I want to go back into that dark stages. If I
right,
can.
Okay.
The reason why I want people to know that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter how dark your light may seem, at the end of the tunnel, if you persevere, you keep going, if you believe in your dream, the light will start to shine.
Yes.
Right? That goes to my next question. What was that point in your life where you just decided, you know what, the drinking, the depressed, the anger, it's not for me? What motivated you? What was it? Mentors? Was it maybe just having an epiphany one day? What was it about that just kind of say, you know what, I gotta wake up?
It was, the problems I was having. I knew it was if it continued, I'd either be dead or in jail, or I would be nothing, and because of my constant production, yes, I was depressed, but I was still working.
Right.
It didn't mean that you didn't see me for weeks and they were asking, where's Edwin?
Maybe when you were alone, right?
It was when I was alone. I always, like I said a story, when I used to just look up when I was by myself at this time at night, I used to look up in the stars and just ask, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Where am I going to be?
The right decision.
Yes. Was it the right decision?
Yeah.
And so I was asking myself through those times. But it didn't stop me from continuing to work. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I know what I did. I know my decision that I made. So I have to stick with it and go with it. You know, so my dad came from tough love. So to me, I got to be hard on myself, you know, and that discipline. So I kept on working. So over time, finally, I started producing. Finally, I started seeing, started getting brighter. Like, wow, things are happening. So I used that as motivation. I started leveraging that to fund my own business. You know, there's a saying, whatever you make some money, and in any business, 15% around that, you got reinvested in your business.
Yeah, I think in any business, and I made this mistake, and I, been in business for 5 years, I just realized this now, that when you're in business for the first couple of years, there is no profit. You got to put it back into your business.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Exactly.
And a lot of entrepreneurs that I made, but I know that now. With the right team behind me, with the good bookkeeping team that had to slap me a few times and say, hey, messing up.
I bet, right?
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
But that's a mistake that I made, and I want Entrepreneur Nation to know that. You touched on a very good point.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward.
Right.
You did real estate. You seen, you know what, I could do this. This is for me. An opportunity came by. We were able to manage Eldorado Realty. Right. Right? How was that experience?
I mean, just to even get the opportunity, I thought it was too good to be true. There's a catch. Because it was like, how is he going to give me 100% commission? Let me manage it. You know, and because I come from the big company where they're taking 75% of my commission.
They're taking
75%, which are the bigger companies.
So there was a price to pay for your education, for your experience.
Oh yeah. I used to hate it when my check was at 10,000, it went down to 2,000.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, you really need to do this to me?
It's gonna get any better,
right? You're gonna do this to me?
What's going
I have
on?
to continue fixing computers. I have to keep on doing what I got to do on the side in order to, again, make ends meet. But what have you? So now Eldorado comes, and a great partner, his name is Gus Ongo. He's been in business since the 80s. And he has several properties in Inglewood. Great person. And he gave me the opportunity.
He's seen something in you.
Yeah.
This kid got, he has the eye of the tiger. He could take this company to new levels, right? Right. But then again, you ran it for a couple of years, right?
I ran it for 2-3 years.
And again, you said, this is not for me.
Right. It wasn't what I was doing. I was learning. You see, everywhere I went, I got learned something from it. Right. There's a reason, I am who I am, because the route I took, I stopped somewhere, learned what I got to learn, and kept on going. Or kept on going and learned along the way. So Eldorado Realty really taught me how to manage a business, versus just being an agent and caring about clients, right? So now I had to put on 2 hats on, manage a business and do real estate. So, but at some point now, I was outgrowing that. Yeah. And I needed now to feel like ownership. I had no ownership at all in Eldorado Realty.
So now you were the real entrepreneur. So what experiences were in the beginning? What experiences were you facing, and what challenges you were facing as an active entrepreneur? Because before you were just an agent, now you have an office. What were some of the challenges that you experienced?
The challenges at that point, because I had to juggle both real estate agent role and manager owner role. Because I had no other income, I had to focus on my own deals, which took away from training the other agents. Yeah. See, I was a one-man show at that office. My other partner was running Seville, so I would just be and 2 3 agents. So the thing I had is I couldn't have time for them because I was so reliant on my deals. But at the end of the day, I also learned that these agents need attention, they need training, or else they'll leave. Yeah. So it's more of a people. How you would say? You can't in a clientele and in the real estate agent world, you can't show success where it's starting to show like I'm making all this money. Because then clients are gonna feel, well, he doesn't care about me. I'm just a dollar sign to him. Yeah, versus the recruits, that's what you got to show them, because that's gonna motivate them to get into it. And clientele, you just really got to be humble.
So it's more like a double-edged sword.
Exactly. It was kind of hard to kind of do both. Yeah. I couldn't be both on social media. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So it's something that I had to figure what I got to choose. So that's the thing I'm still juggling that, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, social media and being who you really are, that's something that's never going to change. I mean, it's hard to keep up with it. Yeah. Right. Yes, I get what you're saying. So the main challenge was being a manager, running the office, right, a coach, a leader, and then still having to care for your own,
right, all these hats on, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, looking back, when you graduated high school, the Boeing experience, the quitting, and then being a realtor, and then being an entrepreneur, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned?
Biggest lesson is use your time more wisely. Um, Friends come and go. Don't be around people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
If you stay in that crowd, you'll stay there.
You mean like-minded, be around people that have the same vision as
The
you
same
do, right?
vision as yourself, where you want to go.
So you think
Um,
that played a major role in helping you come out of that shell you were in?
right, it slowed me down.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from the city of Lynwood,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's not. I mean, Lynwood is not the best city in the world.
So I mean, there was a lot of partying going on, and I'm not saying no one else did that. There's people that do that, but there was just a lot of influence.
Of course.
And so all they wanted to do is just invite you places and go and party, and you're putting your actual long-term real goals on the side to do that. And really, if I had just focused more, I would have gotten there faster.
Forward,
Mhm.
Edwin. You are now co-owner of an up-and-coming,
Right.
energized
Mhm.
company called Lotus Group,
Right.
located in Downey. Talk
Right.
to us about your company and how you came to be a co-owner.
Well, I had a partner of mine is Jose Perez, socio Lotus Group.
Very
When you
good.
see this,
Yeah.
very
Good luck
proud of
with
this guy.
shout-out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to
Yeah, great
because
guy.
this guy is we complement each other.
Mhm.
We definitely complement each other, and I knew that this guy, this individual, had what it takes to go where I wanted to be.
Yeah. That's a
So
vision.
he was in a different real estate company. I was in my own. He was tired of it, what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I told him one day, don't make a move without calling me.
Mm.
Don't make a move. Please don't make a move without calling me. So sure enough, the time came. He called me. Look, I met up with some these other guys that are thinking about Lotus Group.
Yeah.
This company came called Lotus Group. We're like, are you interested? Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Let's do it. So at that point, we just got filed a corporation, and we started it in December of 2014. It became official, December 15, no, December 17, 2014, we became incorporated. AP Capital Realty Group, then DBA, Lotus Group Real Estate. In February, we got recognized by the Bureau of Real Estate as Lotus Group entity.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, we started running. We only had 4 agents.
24.
4 agents.
How many are there now?
We have a total of 28 agents.
How many offices are there total?
3 offices.
3 offices. Wow.
So yeah, and we started 10 months ago.
Wow.
So, but that's a cultivation of what he brings, what I bring, and everything else. Now, as far as what I envision, I use what I learned at USC, because there's a lot of stuff at USC that I did not see anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed. I used to love going through their courses, entrepreneur class, by the way.
Yeah.
And it just the insight they give you, the vision they give you, so you kind of look at the world a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So have that different vision, I wanted to implement that in Lotus Group.
Yeah.
Using what I learned in the corporation world at Boeing, I put it into Lotus Group. A lot of people don't know how the corporation world works.
Yeah,
a lot of politics, but all that. Mine is that. Mine is the politics and all that. But the way they're organized, the way they have procedures, processes, a system.
Yeah.
You open up a McDonald's, you want to have the same McDonald's in the other corner, the same exact processes.
Yeah.
That's what we want to have Lotus Group. So when we open up another Lotus Group, it's gonna be the same exact thing, cookie cutter. That's why everybody's different. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own individuality. Just no one's better than anybody. Everybody has their own value that they can bring into life.
Yeah, but I go places. I go to, when I'm shopping, I go to the movies or wherever I go. I see an employee and I see them that they're doing their job, not at their potential. It's like, well, nobody has you here.
Mm.
Just master that skill, because what happens? Yeah, you might not like your job. You might not like working at, Sam's Club or working in a movie theater. But what happens if a business owner is there looking for an employee? Has a great opening for you. He sees your attitude. He sees the way you tell him, hi, how can I help you? And he's looking for somebody. He could hire you. But if you're right there with your negative attitude, not liking your job,
Right.
If you don't like something, you change it, right?
Right.
So I go to say Entrepreneur Nation is that if, whatever you're doing, master it.
Right.
You never know an opportunity. If you're open-minded, something is going to happen. It's going to change your life.
Right. And what drove me really is the competitiveness. Mm-hmm. In every job I was an All-American, which is not there no more.
Yeah.
I was at Blockbuster, not there no more. Yeah. I was Boeing, still there. But in every job I ever had, I wanted to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be the
Just
best.
for yourself, right?
To be the best. But see and the cherry on top is you master it.
Mm-hmm.
You master it. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And right now, me and my partner, we're competing against each other. Friendly competition. I love it.
That's good.
You know, we're competing, but we're trying to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it goes back to the high school GPA story and how that came about. The whole competitiveness. I didn't do it for my parents. My parents never pushed me.
Right. It was just for you.
It was one individual who told me in my 9th grade first semester. He came, you know, the second semester coming back from the first semester. He had his report card, all his classes. He had all A's. He tells me, because I showed mine, I had B's and a couple A's and 3 B's, 4 B's. Yeah. He told me, you can't do it like me. Like, really, I can't do it like you. I just don't feel like it. I don't, who cares? I'm just going to go through high school. Yeah, I bet you can't do it like me. You're not as good as me. Wow. Okay. Okay.
So that was the point. Okay.
So, all right, cool. So that second semester, 9th grade, and all the way, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, all A's. Never got a B. And I finally beat him. Wow. I finally beat him. I felt good. Felt good. Huh? Oh, yeah. I still do. Okay. I still talk to him. No, we're good. Well, I don't talk to him. Okay. We kind of lost connection, but I would still bring it up. You know, and really that's basically the competitiveness. I wasn't doing it for my parents. They were never pushing me. Yeah. You know, and it was just all competitiveness. So that's what, if you have that thing about you, then that can also help you.
Now, Edwin, you have an incredible story, and I hope that somebody can be inspired by your story. You have what's called tenacity, perseverance, which is a blessing, right? But what about that entrepreneur? What about that one person that maybe is not as strong as you, that maybe doesn't have that will to fight like you have? What advice can you give that person?
To not to quit. There's going to be a lot of obstacles out there, you know, and they're going to pound you to the ground, but it doesn't mean you got to stay down. Mm-hmm. You know, don't listen to the doubters, because it's what you feed your mind. If you let outside people give you that doubt, that sense of doubt, you're going to believe it. And if you believe it, you lost. You lost. So always have your horse blinders on and keep on chugging, keep on going, keep on grinding. And at the end of the day, you will see the light.
Great advice.
Okay.
Thank you,
and wanted to kind of add one more thing, because another thing that catapulted me into where I'm at now as well is having a good support system, and that is my beautiful wife. She's made me better. You have to find that right partner. You cannot be in a relationship where they're always bogging you down because they have their own interests. If you have a partner that feels like a team, then you'll continue to grow. Great. But if you have someone who's always taking you down with their personal agenda, their personal problems, and me, you know, versus us, you're not going to make it as much as you think.
You recently just got married, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. My aunt, beautiful wedding.
Thank you very much.
There. Thank you for inviting me. Mm-hmm. I know your wife personally, myself, and you guys together make a beautiful couple, and I know you guys have a bright future ahead of you. And I only wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is the end, but we have the unplug round. Okay?
Okay.
3 questions. Right? If you could talk to 20-year-old self again, what advice would you give her?
Oh, you damn idiot. You're going to make a lot of mistakes you should have never made. The 20-year-old self, really, again, what I was going to give it advice is just really, you know, make better decisions in life and personal life and everything else, because it affects each other. Spend more time with your family. Mm-hmm. Just be focused. Again, continue to do what you want. Do it now. Like, get into more things versus just waiting. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I could have quit in 2005 and got into real estate. Yeah. And I would have more experience. But right now, I quit, you know, at 28. Yeah. So basically, I was like 18-year-old again. Yeah. Quitting, like, you know, my credit got messed up. Yeah. You know, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, you know, if I would have quit earlier, because I decided earlier, I would have been in a different, even like further out.
Different era right now.
Right. I would, right now I'm just catching up.
Yeah.
I'm catching up to the big boys.
So you're enjoying the process.
I'm enjoying the process. I love it. It's fun.
Awesome. Great.
It's fun, but at the end of the day, just make decisions faster, sooner. Stay confident. Stay certain. Don't give up. That's basically what I've done.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my wife, for my daughters, my parents.
How do you define Edwin Acevedo?
Someone's going to persevere no matter what. He's not going to quit. Very, very confident. Knows what they got to do. Plans it and does it. There's nothing else. I don't give a damn what everybody says. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
that a few times.
there's nothing stopping me. And so far, so good. I may go through some obstacles like I have in the past, but doesn't matter. I take it as something as part of the process, and just continue to go. That's it.
Awesome.
I don't, and a loving father and husband. So that's one of the two things that also drives me.
Right.
So
Edwin, I
thank you very much
for sharing your story. Like I always say, Edwin, if our story can help one person, if one person could be inspired, then this was a success. Entrepreneur Nation, thank you. On to the next one.